Hey everyone, and welcome back to Bucket Central. The NBA is a multi-billion-dollar industry which has garnered fans from across the globe. Fans watch almost every NBA game and are keen to know nearly everything about the players, the games, the stats, the trades, and the rumors. It's all a part of the game, and we love it. But even some of the most ardent fans aren't familiar with the rules of basketball. And you can't really blame them considering these rules are quite bizarre to begin with. Today we are going to be talking about the 10 crazy NBA rules you didn't know existed. Make sure you keep it locked here for the very end for rules so crazy they should have never been enacted in the first place. Let's go. Number 10, timeouts are a must. Have you ever wondered how TV stations are able to schedule their ads during timeouts in an NBA game? How does the media determine when a timeout is coming when it's the coach's prerogative? And what would happen to the commercials if the coaches did not call all 4 timeouts? The NBA's got that covered. During NBA games, each team receives a total of 6 timeouts that they can use anywhere in the middle of the game. However, there's a catch. There's a rule stating that teams must use 4 of these 6 timeouts, and they must save at least 1 timeout for the 4th quarter. If they don't, the referee will call for a timeout and the team receives a technical foul. This rule has been kept in place so that TV networks airing the game can use the break to air commercials. And before the game has even started, the NBA has already secured that bread. Number 9, shatter the board. Back in the day, basketball players were known for their backboard shattering abilities. Guys like Daryl Dawkins were always demolishing the glass in the rim. It was also a great way to instill fear into the other team. Fortunately for the NBA, technology was quickly catching up, and soon glass was replaced by anti-shattered plexiglass. So after fixing the backboards to prevent beasts like Shaquille O'Neal breaking them, the league established a policy where players wouldn't be penalized if they broke them during warm-ups. Nonetheless, if the backboard breaking happens during a game, the player would be penalized with a technical foul. But they still can't be ejected from the game, even if it's his second technical foul. In addition, the foul won't count for the player's total fouls for that game or the season tally. It doesn't sound like shattering the backboard is a very serious offense, does it? Number 8, don't take your time. Once a foul is called on a player when in the shooting motion, it's automatically free throw time. The player then heads to the charity stripe and shoots 2 or 3 free throws depending on the shot he was taking. Most basketball coaches would tell a player that he needs to focus and relax before shooting a free throw and try to block all the outside noise, focusing mainly on the rock and the rim. But there's a catch. If you take too long before shooting the free throw, there's a penalty. Actually, players have as much as 10 seconds after they step up to the free throw line to make the actual shot. If he fails to do so, no points would be scored and the defending team would receive the ball to inbound from the baseline. If this rule was strictly upheld, players like Giannis would be getting into constant trouble. And if you didn't know about this rule, keep on watching for more rules you've never heard about. Number 7, playing with more than 6 fouls. Everybody knows that when a player has received his 6th foul, he has fouled out and should be replaced by another player. But there's a special condition. If a player receives his 6th foul, but there are no other eligible players remaining on the bench, either because of injuries or ejections, the player who has fouled out can remain on the court. Or he can be replaced by another player who has also fouled out, but cannot be replaced by a player who has been ejected. However, every foul committed by this player or the player replacing him will be counted as a personal, a team, and a technical foul. This means that the opposing team will receive 3 free throws instead of 2 for a blocking foul on a 2-pointer, and 4 free throws instead of 3 for a blocking foul on a 3-pointer. Now, this rule hasn't been used in the NBA, but college basketball has a different set of rules which makes the game a 4v5 for the fouling team. How does that work? It's just madness. And we're not done yet. Check out the next one. Number 6, no punching the ball. This rule is actually regarding striking the ball. What this means is that any kind of intentional move that redirects the ball's movement other than regular usage of hands like dribbling, holding, and passing is considered striking. And that means intentional punching, striking, shoulder bumping, or using any body part intentionally to alter the trajectory of the ball is considered a violation and the ball is turned over. So the punch rule was actually introduced due to fans' safety. Now imagine an absolute bodybuilder like Steven Adams or Lebron diving into the stands while the only possible way to save the ball is to punch it. But he makes a full swing, misses the ball, and there's a skinny dude of 130 pounds enjoying his Pepsi on the receiving end of the same punch. Another scenario is when an NBA player gets called for the foul and he isn't happy with the call. The player then proceeds to use a closed fist to hit the ball and it ricochets into the stands where women and kids are enjoying themselves. It wouldn't be pretty. You know, I bet Draymond Green would be punching the ball multiple times every time he gets in his feet. This is one crazy rule fans should be glad exists. Continue watching to the end for other rules that are better removed from the game. Number 5, players can't be business partners with team owners. Now this one won't be called by a referee, but it is pretty odd. NBA players are quite wealthy, and many choose to invest a part of their wealth in another sports franchise. However, when Kevin Garnett chose to invest in AS Roma, the football club, he wasn't allowed to. This was because the principal owner of AS Roma also owns part of the Boston Celtics, and apparently this was breaking the business rules. So you can play for someone, get paid by them, but you can't do business with them? Does this rule really serve any purpose? If you have any information, let us know in the comments section. We're almost getting to the craziest NBA rule. Don't go anywhere. Number 4, no anti-LeBron merchandise. After LeBron set the NBA world on fire with the decision to take his talents to the Miami Heat and forsake his hometown Cleveland Cavaliers, fans were in an uproar. In fact, many fans went on to set his jersey on fire, terming his move the ultimate betrayal. Anti-LeBron campaigns swept the nation, and the NBA did what they could to crack down on angry fans with hateful messages. Security during Miami Heat road games were instructed to look for shirts or posters that had any vulgarity or strong words aimed at LeBron. A couple of security guards were not going to stop the NBA fans from attempting to get the last laugh on LeBron James, as many fans were able to sneak in some classic anti-LeBron jabs via shirts or posters. The NBA attempted to crack down on this even more during the Heat's first game in Cleveland post-decision, but failed miserably, as many fans had vulgar things to say with their clothing. Maybe the NBA should come out and clarify if this rule is still in place, or is it still forbidden to hate on the king? Not like fans are really gonna listen. Number 3, no lock and load shoes. Players can wear shoes from brands that aren't from huge companies, with proof being CJ McCollum and Klay Thompson signing with Chinese company Li Ning. So players are allowed to wear any shoe that they want, except for one. Those shoes being the Athletic Propulsion Labs Concept 1 shoe. This is because of the company's lock and load technology that supposedly gives those wearing the shoes an increased vertical. The league claimed that if players wore these shoes, they would have an unfair competitive advantage due to the technology. And they might have been onto something, because when the shoe was torn down, it revealed metallic springs built into the sole of the shoe. But the company isn't mad at the league whatsoever, as the exposure from the ban actually propelled business way more than owners Ryan and Adam Goldston could have ever imagined in such a quick time. Matter of fact, many small shoe companies would absolutely adore having their shoes banned by the NBA. Number 2, the sixth man. Back in the day, basketball coaches were quite sneaky and managed to send an occasional sixth man to the hardwood without the referees noticing. And what's funnier is that according to the NBA handbook, the points scored would count. Now this is absolutely bonkers. The only catch is that the referee must not notice the sixth player. Nonetheless, if the referee notices one team has one too many players in the court, the violating team will be assessed with an unsportsmanlike conduct technical foul. That didn't stop the San Antonio Spurs playing 6 players against the Dallas Mavericks in 2014. Luckily, the play did not decide the outcome of the game. And most NBA teams would never try this today because of the outcry that would ensue. Fans and players already get mad when a player tries to make a shot in the last seconds of the game where the difference in points is just too high. They would hit the roof if a coach were to try to play 6 guys. And now to the craziest rule in the NBA. Number 1, disaster draft. In 1977, the University of Evansville entire basketball team, minus 1 player, and coaching staff, along with members of the press, boosters, and plane crew, were all killed in a plane crash shortly after takeoff from Evansville en route to a game against Middle Tennessee State University. In 1985, all of the members of the Iowa State Cyclones women's cross-country team were all killed on a return trip from the 1985 championships. There are many more examples of entire teams perishing in road and air accidents, which brings us to the disaster draft. This is a rule that will hopefully never have to be used in the NBA. The rule states that if there were to be an accident where at least 5 players of a single NBA team die, there would be an emergency draft that allows the team to pick players to complete their roster from any other team in the league. In this case, each team could protect 5 players, and the affected team could draft the other players that are not protected by a team. 1 player per team though, they can't take 2 undefended players from the same roster. Players can sleep peacefully on their flights knowing that if anything were to happen to them, the NBA has a rule to make sure the league goes on. Have you liked the video? Have you subscribed to the channel? What are you waiting for? And don't forget to hit that notification bell too. While you're here, go ahead and click on one of those 2 links on your screen and watch more exciting videos. See you there.